Everyone. So, one of the treatment approaches that I found in my research for hypokinetic dysarthria is a pacing approach. Because, as we all know, a common characteristic of people with hypokinetic dysarthria is that they have those rushes of speech. So, with this pacing approach, the idea is to help them space out the words they're saying in like a sentence, in a phrase, in order to pace it out so they become more intelligible. So, in the research article that I found, they listed a couple different ways to kind of incorporate a pacing technique. So, the first way that we're going to do it is I actually created a pacing board. And so, how this works is that the patient will point at each circle for each word in the sentence. So, to start off our therapy, I'm going to give you what a typical hypokinetic speech sample would sound like. So they're going to be rushes of speech, and we're going to be reading a little bit from the grandfather passage. So here's an example of what it would be without any pacing technique.
You wish to know about my grandfather. Well, he is nearly 93 years old, yet he still thinks as swiftly as ever.
So she had a lot of rushes of speech, and at times she was hard to understand. So after that, we're now going to teach them the approach of the pacing board. So for today, now I'm going to have you re-say this, and at each word I want you to point to the circle to help pace the way you say your phrase, okay?
You wish to know all about my grandfather. Well, he is nearly 93 years old, yet he still thinks swiftly as ever.
Great job. I liked how she really slowed down, and the pacing board allowed her to do that. So another technique we talked about in the article was you can print off the passage for them, and this is when they would point to the first letter of each word. So this time she's going to point, so if she's saying about, we're going to point to the word about. So that same idea, but maybe making it feel just a little bit more natural by not having something out of the ordinary in their way. So we're going to try this one and see how it goes.
You wish to know all about my grandfather. Well, he is nearly 93 years old, yet he still thinks as swiftly as ever.
Perfect. So once again, that was maybe a little quicker, but it still gave her that more natural flow, and she was very easy to understand and follow. So then the final approach, which is kind of another idea of pacing, that is the most natural way to do it, is like a vowel prolongation. So that's when they have a word, and in the vowel part, they're going to prolong it to kind of help them slow themselves down, but it's going to give a more natural rhythm to how she says it. So for this final approach, she's going to vowel prolong each word and see how that goes.
You wish to know all about my grandfather. Well, he is nearly 93 years old, yet he still thinks as swiftly as ever.
Perfect. And personally, I feel like that was her best set of how she said that passage, and it was way more natural, and she didn't have to think too much about it. So those are the three kind of areas that they touched on in my research article, and they found that each area of having any sort of pacing idea really helped improve each speech sample and became more intelligible. Thank you for listening.